this morning, I'd like to introduce to you to one of our newest product. It's called eView, EXL View, as in for the eyes. Myopia. Myopia is one of the most common, I wouldn't say it's an illness, but it's one of the common conditions that most kids would have. So in Chinese, we always say kids nowadays, they have 4 eyes. 2 eyes and then 2 lenses. So in Chinese, we say 4 eyes, okay? Because majority of the kids in elementary school, they are already wearing glasses. So as parents, we will always tell the kids, hey, don't stay so close to your TV. You're going to get myopia, nearsightedness. Or we will caution our kids, say, don't read inside your blankets. It's too dark. Then, we have all these things that you have to sit correctly in the right posture. And then the lighting must be exactly right. This way, it will prevent myopia. Then other parents, they say, no. You see, you have to look somewhere far apart, and you have to look at the color green to prevent myopia. Well, one of the most common causes of myopia is inheritance. It's just your genetics. So your kids don't have anyone to blame but you. Okay? So if your kid have inherited it, then it really doesn't matter whether they are sitting close to the TV or, whether they just, they read under the bright lights, okay, they are still going to get nearsightedness. So there is nothing we can do about inheritance, okay? So majority of the kids, the reason that they are nearsighted is just because of genetics, okay? Now, also, kids, when they read, they always want to hold something very close to them. When they want to watch TV, they want to sit very close to their TV. Or when they're reading, they really read close. This is okay. It's not going to cause myopia. It may cause their eyes to be tired, but it's not going to cause nearsightedness. When you get older, one day when you're reading your newspapers and you start to hold your newspapers like this, then you know you're getting old. Okay? And the reason that the kids, they can hold it close, they can read close and sit very close to the TV is because they are young. Okay? So genetics, okay? If one parent is myopic, then the children, 20% to 25% of the kids, they are going to be myopic. Okay, children without myopic parents, only 10% will have myopia. So inherited myopia progresses regardless of any environmental factors, and this is the majority cause of myopia. Now, there are some studies recently. There is a study about 4,000 students aged from 6 to 12 in Australia. They are finding that if the children, they spend more time outdoors due to the stimulation of the natural light from the sun, it doesn't mean you have to look up at the sun, it stimulates the release of a hormone called dopamine, okay? And then dopamine is a neurotransmitter. It really helps with myopic students. It prevents myopia. This is the reason why we want our kids to play outside more. But now, every time I go to any restaurant, okay, every kid, they are so well behaved nowadays. I used to, in my time, okay, about, 20 years ago, when the kids are little, we will go to the restaurant and you will hear the kids crying, running, it will be really noisy. But nowadays, no. You go to the restaurant, you will have a table, 10 kids really quietly. Everyone has an iPad. Okay, and they're playing with it. You get babies now, they still hold them in their arms. They cannot even speak, okay? They cannot even walk. You give them a phone, they already go with their finger. Swipe it. Okay. So what do you expect? I mean, kids nowadays, you say, hey, do you want to go out to play in the garden? No, I want to play my iPad, my games, okay, Xbox. So no wonder more and more kids, they are getting nearsightedness. Okay. So how do we prevent it? Is there any association between myopia and your diet? You bet there is. Okay. So a study in Singapore, Eye Research Institute, they are finding that higher intake of saturated fat and cholesterol were associated with myopia. Yes, we already know that we shouldn't have too much saturated fat. We know that it is associated with cardiovascular disease as well as cancer. But now, we also know it is associated with myopia. Cataract. Cataract usually occurs in older individuals. Our eye lens is composed of water and protein. And the protein keeps, as long as it is healthy, when you're younger, it doesn't cloud. But once you get older, it gets clouded because of the clumping of the protein. And then you get cataract. So cataract can occur in one or both eyes, but it does not spread from one to the other. Basically, that means, well, it's just your eye lens is getting old. But what makes it age a little bit faster? Okay, it has to do with quite a few risk factors, including a family history of it, okay, or a long-term steroid use, smoking, eye injury, exposure to sunlight, diabetes, hypertension, and obesity. Okay, but we're also finding that dairy product actually affect it, makes it progress a little bit faster. As an immunologist, we do not recommend a lot of dairy because dairy, I don't know why people think that drinking milk is like a nutrient. I see parents that force their kids to drink milk. In fact, we do not need milk. If you look into the nature itself, okay, all the big animals, well, would give us the excuse saying, hey, you have to drink milk so that you can prevent osteoporosis, so you can, get the calcium that you need. Okay, I'm sure you have heard that story before. But, I've always been thinking about something. As a human being, a man, our bones, we will have about 1 kilogram of calcium. Okay, but then you look at an elephant. Okay, does the elephant drink milk? No. Okay. Does the elephant eat meat? No, they're vegetarian. Okay, so it means that all the plant food that comes out of the soil itself, it contains enough calcium to support an elephant with all the calcium in their bones, right? So my conclusion is this: if our plant food, if just merely from the vegetables, if we are not getting enough calcium, well, there will be no elephant in this world. Okay. Now, the other thing is that if you look into the whole nature itself, all the animals, okay, every one of them, I mean, yes, they drink milk when they are very little, when they are still a baby, but they don't drink milk when they become adults. Okay. We, the human race, is the only one that haven't been weaned from milk. Okay, even when we're already adults, we still drink it. Okay, so from an immunological point of view, we don't like milk because the amino acid inside the milk is just too similar to my own. Okay, too similar to my own amino acid, my composition of it. Like, it's very similar to the myelin, to my nervous system's amino acid, to my collagen's amino acid. So it confuses my immune system. So sometimes, my immune system is going to attack the amino acid inside the milk. Okay, then it turns over. Then it looks at my own joints. And then look at my own nervous system. Then it's going to mistake it for the foreign material called milk, and then it's going to attack it as well. This is the reason why the more milk that you drink, the more prone you are to getting autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease such as rheumatoid arthritis or Parkinson's, okay, systemic lupus erythematosus. So it is related to autoimmune disease. Not only that, okay, milk itself, it is not very good for your eyes either. Okay, so take a look at it. So when we drink a lot of milk or cheese, a lot of dairy product, there are going to be an excess of lactose. Then lactose is converted into galactitol, and then it accumulates in our lens, causing cataract. Okay, so a low intake of plant food is associated with a high incidence of cataract. Well, cataract patients, they all have a lower level of vitamin C, okay, and the risk is reduced if you eat more vegetables and less dairy in your diet. Diabetes and retinal diseases. Diabetes is also related with drinking milk. So, in children that drinks more milk, they are more prone to be diabetic. So diabetic and retinopathy is a complication of the diabetes. And at the end of the day, it may cause blindness for the diabetic. So a chronic hyperglycemia, it damages the retinal vascular endothelium, causing retinopathy. Okay, this is the reason why we always tell people, hey, you have already heard the story. They say drinking red wine, it's good for preventing retinopathy, right? But people, they don't say, well, you drink white wine. Why? Because when we are making the red wine, we use the grape seed. The seed contains a very strong antioxidant, and this antioxidant actually makes the veins, the capillaries, strong, so it prevents retinopathy. But when we're making white wine, we just use the grape juice. We don't use the seed of the grape inside. This is the reason why we don't say, well, you drink white wine, it's good for your cardiovascular health and so forth, and it doesn't prevent retinopathy. But then, personally, I still don't recommend drinking any type of alcoholic beverage. Why? Because even a very small glass of red wine on a daily basis, it will cause you fatty liver. Okay, so it's not very good for your liver. Okay, so it's good just to eat more plant food. So retinopathy occurs in basically most of the diabetics. So if you're a diabetic after 25 years, around 80 to 90% of them is going to develop retinopathy. Okay, so all of this, we are saying that grape seed or any type of an antioxidant would help to prevent it. Okay, so Chinese wolfberry, other than the grape seed, all of this, they all contains a very high level of polysaccharide, polyphenols, and all of this, they are very good for preventing it. Not only good for your eyes, but they are also good for your cardiovascular system. Okay, glaucoma. Glaucoma also merely occurs usually in older individuals. It's a disease resulting in the optic nerve damage. There is pressure with the eye once it started. Okay, and it has a high chance of impairing your vision, and eventually they'll cause blindness. They are finding that glaucoma doesn't have that much to do with your diet. Okay, we're not finding a lot of connections other than that some stimulants such as the herb ephedra or caffeine, it increases the eye pressure with it. But then other than that, we're not finding that it has any association with milk or with saturated fat. Okay, now there is, other than that, we're seeing what we call secondary glaucoma. It occurs with people that is already diabetic, they already have some other diseases, and then, the glaucoma patients are about, 29% more likely to suffer from hypertension than the average people. Okay, some of the preventive measures, they're finding that, well, people that are diabetic or people, if you lose some weight, it tends to help a little bit with it if you have a healthy diet. Okay, but the connection is not that much. Okay, computer vision syndrome. This is a new terminology that just barely appears in the medical textbooks. Okay, if you graduated from the medical school 20 years ago, you don't see this terminology. Okay, so what is it? Okay, well, the short-term effects when you're looking into your computer all day long: headache, blurred vision, neck pain, red eye, fatigue, eye strain, dry eyes, stinging eyes, double vision. Okay, all of these things are going to occur. But the good news is, okay, the computer vision syndrome, as long as you turn off your computer, rest a couple of days, everything returns back to normal. Okay, the thing is that computer is very addictive. Most people cannot even turn it off for 5 minutes, okay, let alone saying for a day. Okay. Well, nowadays, if you don't look into your computer, if you don't read your email, if you don't get on your Facebook, you feel like you cannot survive. Dry eye syndrome. Okay, this one, also called Georgian syndrome. It is an autoimmune disorder, usually occurs in postmenopausal women. This type of an autoimmune disease, not only that you have dry eyes, but you have dry saliva. You just don't have enough secretions. So if this is the case, then basically we're not finding that there is a good cure for it at the moment. Okay? But the other type of dry eye syndrome, it is just merely from looking into the computers too long or looking into your iPad all day long. Okay, now it is also going to cause you dry eye syndrome. But with this type of dry eye syndrome, if you're just, your eyes are just tired, then there are some things that you can help with, like omega-3, increase it, okay? Then it would help your dry eye syndrome, artificial tears, okay, humidifier, sleep with your eyes closed. Some of you, when you wake up in the morning time, your eyes is really, really red. Okay, or when your eyes is very dry, especially when you're still very young. Now, have your partner take a look at you. Maybe when you're sleeping in the nighttime, you sleep with your eyes half closed. It's not completely closed. Okay, this is the reason why you get very, very dry eyes. Okay, so then what do we do? So in the morning time, you wake up, you say, oh, my eyes are so red. So we use those teardrops, okay, to get rid of it so that it won't be so dry. But the problem is, okay, once you use those teardrops to get rid of the redness, it's like an anti-allergy medication. It will make your eyes even drier. Okay, so after you use it, then after half an hour, it becomes even red. Even redder than before. So, number one thing, okay, see in the nighttime, if your eyes is completely closed. If not, wear one of those iPads, okay? So keep your eyes completely closed. Then probably you won't have dry eyes. But, if you are an older individual and you still get very dry eyes, artificial tears doesn't work. Okay, well, making yourself cry won't work. Okay, it doesn't help with your dry eyes. Artificial tears only help a little bit, but not that much. Why? Well, because, once you blink your eyes, okay, every time you blink, what you secrete it's more, it's more oily, okay, than your tears. Okay, so it protected with a film. Okay, so every time when you blink, then it protects it with the layer of it's not tears, it's different. Okay, but for the people with dry eyes, or when you get older, okay, the secretion is not that well, so the film breaks apart right away. That's the reason why you're getting dry eyes. This is the reason why we say, oh, take a lot of omega-3s. It may help. That's why I say, hey, eat some kiwi. It's good for you. Okay? So, diet and cataract. Fats. High intake of omega-6 also increase the risk of cataract. Where do you get an overdose of omega-6? From your vegetable oils. A lot of the vegetable oils, they have an overdose of omega-6. Yes, we do need omega-6, okay? But you don't need that much of omega-6. You need more of omega-3, okay? So what is the ratio between omega-6 and omega-3 that we need? Okay, according to research, it is always better to be 1-to-1. Okay, but then you always hear people tell you, hey, walnut is good for you because walnut contains about 5 parts of omega-6 to 1 part of omega-3. Okay, so some scientists say that up to 5 parts of omega-6 is still okay for you. Okay, so we need both omega-6 and omega-3. But the problem is an overdose of omega-6 is going to cause your body to be inflamed. You're going to have slight inflammation all the time. When your body is inflamed, you're more prone to getting heart disease and cancer. And you'll get all sorts of illnesses, including cataract, including things such as become diabetic. Okay, so you want to balance your omega-6 and your omega-3s. So how do you balance that? You balance with more omega-3 and then less omega-6 in your diet. But now, okay, so we know that the maximum dose of omega-6 to omega-3 is 5-to-1, right? In most American diet, okay, the balance is just way, way too much omega-6. Most Americans' diet, they've got up to about 40 times omega-6 compared to omega-3. This is the reason why we say, hey, eat more kiwi fruits, okay, because the kiwi seeds, eat the green kiwis, okay? The green kiwis has the kiwi seeds inside. The black seeds, it is filled with omega-3's ALA. Okay, so kiwi fruits has 4 parts of omega-3 compared to omega-6, 1 part. So it is much higher in omega-3s. Okay, so where do we get all this omega-6 and overdose of it? Why are we getting cataract when we are very young? It comes from our vegetable oils. Take, for example, okay, even though soy is good, or, well, I just said grape seed is very good for you. It has great amount of antioxidants, right? But I did not say grape seed oil. Okay, I say grape seed, but not grape seed oil. Once you extract an oil away from a plant food, it is not natural and wholesome anymore. The oil itself, okay, it's lacking in antioxidant. The oil itself is lacking in fiber, lacking in polysaccharide and phytochemicals. Therefore, it is not complete wholesome anymore. If grapeseed oil is healthy, let me assure you that out of the grape wine, it's not going to be grape growing out of it. It's going to grow out a bottle of grapeseed oil. Okay. So why are we getting so much omega-6 so that our body is always inflamed? Well, take a look into this, okay? How much of omega-6 maximum can we afford? About similar to walnut, 5 parts of it to 1 part of omega-3s, right? So grapeseed oil contains about 676 parts of omega-6 compared to 1 part of omega-3, okay? But, well, don't worry so much about it. You know why? Fast food restaurant cannot afford grapeseed oil, okay? So they don't use it, okay? So what do they use? they use corn oil instead, which is a lot cheaper. So corn oil contains about 58 parts of omega-6 compared to omega-1, 58 parts. That's where most of us get our omega-6, an overdose of it. Because I'm sure every single one of us have gone to some fast food restaurant, ate something over there, right? Okay, so most of the vegetable oils, they are very high in omega-6. Okay, you want to know some of the other oils? Okay, let me think, okay, what I can remember. What type of oil do you use? Olive oil? Okay, olive oil is supposed to be very good, right? Olive oil contains about 12.8 parts of omega-6 compared to omega-3. Okay, it's still too high, but a little bit lower. So, avocado oil, okay, avocado and olive, it's in the same category. They're all around 12.8 to 13 parts of omega-6, okay? Any other oil you'd like to know? Sesame oil is 137 parts. Okay, what type of oil? Peanut oil is 32 parts of omega-6 to 0 parts of omega-3. Absolutely no omega-3. Okay. Canola oil. Canola oil is quite good in the fact that it contains 2 parts of omega-6 to 1 part of omega-3. 2 to 1, okay? But there is a controversy about canola oil because of the erucic acid inside. So all of the canola oils, okay, because it comes from rapeseed. And the rapeseed nowadays, it is all genetically modified. Without genetically modifying it, the erucic acid will be too high. Okay, the erucic acid must stay within 2%. Over 2%, it causes lesions in your heart. Okay, it's very damaging for your heart. Okay, so this is the reason why we have to genetically modify the rapeseed to get the canola oil so that we can lower the amount of erucic acid. Any other oil? Coconut oil. Coconut oil is also 2 to 1. Okay, omega-6, 2, and 1 part of omega-3. Coconut oil, there is also some different opinions about it. Okay, because some people say that coconut oil may contain some saturated fat, but whereas other scientists believe that since it comes from a plant, it should be okay. Okay, so other than that, it's okay. Okay, any others? Safflower. Safflower contains 365 parts of omega-6. Okay, so it's very high. You do not want that. Okay, palm oil, 46 parts, okay, of omega-6 to 1 part of omega-3. Sunflower, okay, 40 parts. Soy, okay, soy is pretty good, better than olive oil at 7 parts of omega-6 to 1 part of omega-3, okay, at 7 parts, okay? Okay, so you want to lower your omega-6, okay? Once you lower it, okay, you prevent the risk of getting inflamed. Once your body isn't under inflammation, then it's better. Okay, you can prevent more heart disease and cancer, and also cataract. Okay, so let us take a look. Cassia seed. Cassia seed, also we call it Cassia tora in Chinese. Cassia tora, okay, to a lot of you, this may sound like very Chinese herbs, but in China, in Taiwan, Japan, this thing is almost like a plum. Okay, you make a drink with it, okay, and it's a very common drink. But this fruit, or they call it a seed, okay, but sometimes it's almost like a fruit. Okay, so everyone knows that if we want to have better liver, and with a good liver, a very cleansed liver, then your eyesight will be better. So it's called Cassia tora, okay, T-O-R-A. They also call it cassia seed. Cassia tora, okay, it also is very strong in its antioxidant. So for the Chinese, we use this to cleanse our liver and therefore it's good for your eyes. Chia seed. Okay, chia seed is the same as the kiwi fruit seed. Okay, but kiwi fruit is very easy. You can buy in the supermarket. Okay, chia is a little bit harder to get a hold of. But chia seed and kiwi fruit seed, they all contain the same amount of omega-3 called ALA. Okay, I know I don't like fish oil. Okay, why don't I like fish oil? Well, because, for the people that sells fish oil for the omega-3, they always sell to you by saying, well, because the fish, it contains DHA, good for your brain, EPA, good for your heart. Have you heard that? Okay, yes, okay. They say, well, then the thing is, they never ask, how did the fish get the DHA and EPA? Well, the fish eats the seaweed, which contains the ALA. Okay, that's part of the omega-3. So omega-3 contains ALA, then EPA, and then DHA. So the fish eat the plant containing ALA and then converts it to DHA and EPA. Okay, I don't like fish oil because I feel like I'm smarter than the fish. Okay. Because if the fish can eat the seaweed and convert it to DHA and EPA, I'm a human, I'm a lot smarter. So when I eat the kiwi fruit or when I eat the chia seed, I can also convert it to DHA and EPA. Substitution is not the best for your health. Every time we go to the hospital, we take a blood test or we find out what we're lacking. Then they tell us, oh, you're lacking this nutrient, you're lacking that nutrient. And then immediately our thoughts are, okay, then we'll replace it, we'll substitute it. Okay, so we go and test it. Then we say, you go into menopause. After that, hey, you need to replace your hormones because you're secreting less. So you replace it. Okay, but we have to realize there is laws in this nature. There must be a reason why we are secreting less hormones, estrogen, later on after menopause. Then once you replace it, there are going to be side effects. And the side effect, one of them, is you're more prone to getting stroke, you're more prone to getting breast cancer. Okay? So substitution only works temporarily. You cannot use it for a long-term period of time. In the same token, okay, if I get someone that is completely healthy, I give them insulin, their body is going to say, if you're going to give me insulin, I do not have to secrete it. After a while, your body is going to become dependent on it. Okay, so if I'm secreting a particular enzyme for my digestion, and then you say, I'm going to replace it with the enzyme. At the very first start, it may work well. But after a while, your body is going to say, if you're going to give me the enzyme, why do I need to secrete it? I might as well just take a rest and be lazy. After a while, your body is going to forget how to secrete it. If you don't like to walk, okay, every time, I see these people, going to the mall, you get this huge parking lot. Don't you have that urge to park in the handicapped? Okay, so we go around and around and around. We want to find the closest parking lot, right? Because we don't want to walk. Well, if you really, really don't want to walk, you can really become the handicapped and sit in a wheelchair. Okay, all you need to do is sit for a year, and then you forget how to walk. Okay, it's the same thing. So you do not want to replace a function of your body when it can do it itself. So we as human beings, there must be a reason why, okay, why in this plant world it does not contain DHA and EPA. Okay, so we eat the plants containing ALA, then our body is going to convert it into DHA and EPA automatically. You don't have to worry about it. You don't want to replace its function. So now we know why in the plant kingdom, it contains very high amount of ALA. Because ALA, not DHA, not EPA, only ALA can combat the ill effect of omega-6. Okay? So omega-6, when you have an overdose of it, by consuming fish oil, it doesn't help. You have to consume out of the plant food, the ALA. It is anti-inflammatory. Okay? So it balances out your overdose of omega-6. Okay? So with the chia seed, it can prevent dry eye syndrome, okay? Cataract, diabetic retinopathy. Okay? Blueberries. Blueberries contains a whole bunch of antioxidants and phytochemicals, and it contains very, very powerful antioxidant. So next time when you go to the supermarket, eat more blueberries. Okay? So it also helps to protect our retina. Carrots. Every one of us knows that carrots is good for your eyes. It aids your dry eyes, it supports the night vision, reduces glaucoma, helps the retina to function properly. Okay? So a US study shows that the risk of glaucoma was lower in 64% of the women who eats 2 servings of carrots on a weekly basis. Okay? Chinese wolfberry. Chinese wolfberry, you see this when you go to the Chinese restaurant. A lot of the vegetables dishes, they will put some wolfberry on top of it because it looks very pretty. But Chinese wolfberry is also very, very high in its antioxidants. Okay, so it also helps with your eyes. Okay, in fact, okay, it's very easy. You know which ones are good for your eyes. Okay, all you have to do, go to the supermarket, anything, any vegetable, any fruits, color red. Okay, red color, yellow color, okay, or orange color. They are all very good for your eyes. Okay? So grapeseed. It also helps with the reduction of the DNA damage. Okay, so we did an experiment. This one is done by EXL. Okay, we compare its antioxidant effect compared to vitamin C on how it reduces DNA damage. You can tell that, the effect of grapeseed is a lot better than vitamin C in the percentage of reduction in the oxidative DNA damage. Okay, broccoli. Okay, broccoli is also very good. It can also help reduce the risk of cataract up to 20%. Okay, all sorts of broccolis, they've done different studies on it. Okay, it lowers, in some studies, it lowers 19% in the risk of cataract. Okay, Brussels sprouts, very similar to the broccoli. Okay, also support the eyes. Okay, and it also helps with, it's very rich in ALA as well, which is part of the omega-3. Okay, but not as rich as the chia seed or the kiwi fruit. Yellow pepper. Yellow pepper. Okay, like I say, anything color orange, yellow, it's also good for your eyes. Yellow pepper, the color really depends on the time of harvest. Sometimes you will find the green pepper, okay, the red ones, okay, they are all the same, okay, but the yellow ones is a lot better for you, okay. The green ones is, if you harvest it early, it's green color, okay. You wait, it becomes yellow. You wait even longer, it becomes red. It's the same vegetable, the same pepper. Okay, this is the reason why, when you're buying your green peppers, okay, at the beginning it's thicker, okay, juicier, because you harvest it earlier. Okay, leave the red ones, becomes very thin, kind of dry. Okay, so yellow pepper, it has 30 different carotenoids. Okay, and it is very high in all of these nutrients. We're very rich in beta-carotene, helps to improve your vision, and combats oxidative stress in the eyes caused by free radicals. Okay, so yeah, all of these are very good. So take a look into the ingredient list of one of the newest product called eView. Okay, it contains cassia tora, cassia seed, chia seed, blueberry, carrot, Chinese wolfberry, grape seed, broccoli, Brussels sprout, and yellow pepper. Okay, so what we have done is according to every single ingredient. Okay, every single ingredient are treated differently, so we concentrate each individual ingredient separately. Okay, and then we combine them together. So it doesn't mean that you have to have every single one of these ingredients to be good for your eyes. Okay, all you have to do, like I say, if out of this list, you can just choose 3 or 4 of them. Those will be good enough for your eyes. Okay, so for kids, especially younger kids, it helps to relieve stress in the eyes, and it also helps to combat with all the saturated fat that we're eating, all the not so healthy food that we're eating. So some of the product combinations that we want to do, you can combine oat seed with eView, okay? Because oat seed is very rich in omega-3 ALA. Okay, for kids, the best combination will be combine it with NutriFresh, and then oat seed, and then eView. Overall, this combination, NutriFresh provides the protein that they need, and oat seed provides them with the omega-3 that they need to convert into DHA, and then eView for their eyes. So help to, protect their eyes since they are reading into the computer all day long. If you are over 30, how about try it with Encore? Why Encore? Because Encore is very cleansing for our liver. For your eyes to be bright, for your eyes to function well, you must have very good, healthy liver. So a very cleansed liver is very good for your eyes. So Encore together with Vision. Vision contains just merely very high concentrations of grape seed. Okay, so once you're older, you need more OPC. You need more of this antioxidant. And then you combine it with eView.